Good afternoon and welcome once again to the Polity, reaching you live from Abuja. Now we'll go straight into the matter, and yesterday, the National Assembly, the 10th Assembly officially swung into action and was inaugurated with the Speaker of the House of Representatives emerging as Tajuddin Abbas and the Senate President of the 10th Assembly, Senator Godswill Akpabio. These are the persons who emerged victorious alongside their deputies, and the President has already indicated signs to work together with these ones to ensure that Nigerians get the dividends of democracy. Now, today I'm being joined in the studio by policy analyst Mr. Atiku Abubakar to analyze some of the recent developments, the National Assembly, the bills being passed, and basically the couple of weeks that we've had under the new administration, and especially now that it is complete with the executive and the legislative arms fully ready to function in the new dispensation. Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. Yeah. All right. Let's start with your predictions. How did you see yesterday's event, being that you had perhaps different expectations? Did things go outside of the way you wanted, in the way you expected, or was yesterday's events completely unexpected?
It was not completely unexpected because the president, though at one point I was disappointed, but knowing who the president is, he's a man who has always kept his promise. And that is one thing going for the president. He had adopted Akpabio. And being a man who keeps to his promise, he didn't want to change that decision, having made it public. And that helped Akpabio to emerge as Senate President. But I think he lost a golden opportunity. He has been getting everything right from the beginning till not until yesterday, when he lost a golden opportunity to get the best man. I still believe the best man for the job remains Senator Sita and not Akpabio.
President Tinubu is part of the executive. This is the legislature.
Yes,
is he the one making the choice?
He adopted and pleaded with the senators, and including those who were to contest with Akpabio. They withdrew based on the demand of the president, who sought their understanding to withdraw for Senator Akpabio, who eventually emerged as the Senate President. Be that as it may, I also want to use this opportunity to plead with the President to compensate the Southeast with the Ministry of Petroleum and that of Finance. Because so that
why those two specifically?
Because these ministries are very dear to our nation, and any zone occupying these ministries, they will feel to have been brought together in the government, because as it is, the Southeast is completely not in this government, completely, because I don't see the position of the Deputy Speaker to be anything. It is insulting to the region for it to be given only the Deputy Speaker. So if to be more specific, since the President lost the golden opportunity, he should placate the Southeast and then call Senator Izunaso Sita to occupy the position of the Minister of Petroleum, because he would do very well.
Well, he's a senator.
He's a senator. He can as well serve as a minister. He can go to serve as minister and then leave the office of the Senate, and then so that another election rerun can be conducted. So that would be a very good thing. These two key ministries should go to Southeast. That's my opinion, because they need to be considered. And they have very capable hands. Or else, with the lies with the party, he should be made the leader of the Senate. Yes, these things are very important.
All right. While we're on the topic of the legislature, let's take a quick look at some of the last happenings in the 9th Assembly. Now, there's a video of a senator that has gone to an extent viral online, Senator Bukachua, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, where he made insinuations about or suggested that he influenced his wife to help his colleagues and himself. So let's quickly take a look at that video now, and then I'd like to get your thoughts on it. Let's take a look at that.
Mr. President, at my age, I don't think I will lobby anybody under the sun. I would do the right thing, and I always do the right thing, and sincerely and honestly too. So, I know, I look at faces in this chamber whom have come to me and sought for my help when my wife was the president of the Court of Appeal. And I'm sure
the Senator, I don't know what Bukacho. I think I would advise that you just round up and take your seat.
Many names. We know ourselves.
No, but this kind of insinuation will mean that there was favor, there was this and the rest of it. I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I must say that, okay, to round up, since that's what you want me to do, I will do that. And I must thank particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
Mr. Wish, please, I don't think this is a good idea going this direction. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
But, Mr. President, at my age, I don't think I will lobby anybody under the sun. I would do the right thing, and I always do the right thing, and sincerely and honestly too. So,
All right, welcome back. That was a clip from Senator Bukachua. The name is a bit tough to pronounce, but I hope I got it correctly. So basically, he made insinuations about when his wife was the president of the Court of Appeal, a judge, a very high-ranking justice, and that she helped him and his friends, his colleagues. You know, what do you make of such would I call it an indictment or a statement in public?
These are no insinuations, they are facts. And if you listen to him very well, from the beginning he said he likes to speak the truth. And it is the truth he's telling Nigeria. And so the government should do the right thing. And also by inviting the judge, that's his wife, so that she can answer some questions. It means the senator has confirmed some of the things we have said severally, especially on this platform, that most of the cases are determined politically, but not based on the ingredients of the case, not based on the substance of the case, but based on they are just whatever the judges are, depending on how much influence you have or how much money you have that you can offer. And that's why we are not moving anywhere in this country. And we will not move anywhere, because you cannot get justice. You only, in most cases, this man is confirming to Nigerians that you buy justice in this country, or you get justice based on your influence This is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and you are talking about a high-ranking justice. So that is the problem of this country. And this, his wife and other judges are the reasons why you have people being killed anyhow on the streets, because Nigerians do not believe in the security agencies and the court again, because you cannot get justice in the court.
But to be fair, nothing is proven yet. But do you think
what proof do you require again when the senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is talking about? He is talking about his wife. His wife. He knows the wife very well. No, more than any other person. So what else do you want? What proof again?
That's fair enough.
I am happy I have been proven right by a senator. So I am happy.
So, but the question now is, what reaction would you expect from this? Now, if this perhaps was another setting in another country, this could lead to a full-on inquest, a full-on inquiry and investigation into the period of office or the period of the tenure for which the justice was serving, and not just for cases in which she presided over, but cases generally under her tenure as the president of the Court of Appeal. But there are a lot of Nigerians saying it's just a video, this is just social media trend, nothing is going to happen.
Of course, nothing will happen, because we live in a country where we are not a serious people. That's why I'll be using all the opportunities I have to commend the president, because he's on track now. We hope he will be able to do the needful so that we can have a justice in this country, because nothing will happen. You can get away with anything you want to do, and that's because these people know that nothing will happen. That was why they were doing whatever they wanted to do in the last administration. We just hope the president will not allow that to continue to happen. So that is the problem of this country. All the heads of security agencies, all, no exception, either themselves or their families can do anything. They can decide to just kill anybody on the road, because they know nothing will happen. Where will you go to? Is it the court where a senator is confirming to us that he has been influencing the judgment? So all the judgment that was given during her time should be revisited. All those people sent to prison. That's why you have. The truth of the matter is this: you have more innocent people in Nigerian prison than you have, and you have more criminals in the Nigerian police force and other security agencies. Get this correctly: you have more innocent people in the prison, and you have more criminals in the Nigerian police force and other security agencies. So conversely, those who are policemen are the majority of them are supposed to be in prison, and those who are currently in prison, majority of them are supposed to be outside. So that is the situation you have in this country, and also the justices.
All right. Well, again, like we said, innocent until proven guilty.
What? The senator has proven that. So what do you need to prove again?
These are the people meant to protect us and keep.
I just traveled over 300 kilometers to come to grant this interview. What you see on the road is terrible. I think maybe they are being lenient now because of the body language of the president. I want to use this opportunity. Same way Emefiele has been is being investigated. If the president wants to get it right, all the heads of security agencies should be investigated, so that we can get information and so that this country can move forward. It belongs to all of us. They cannot continue to do everything, and all these justices, something needs to be done. He needs to stamp his authority so that we can get this country right.
But he shouldn't be able to stamp his authority on the judiciary. That's another branch.
When you have, he has every right.
Even a statement he made in his Democracy Day speech is still being queried now, even by the NBA and others in the judicial system, where he said that, to quote him, he said, unnecessary, illegal judgments that truncate democracy will no longer be tolerated. And the NBA reacted and said, it is not in your place, Mr. President, to determine orders that are illegal. So it doesn't really have the power to, clamp down on the judiciary. Those are people who should also be holding him accountable. So
he, as the president, he should be looking at the other way, so that justices like Bokashua will be giving judgment based on the advice of a man that doesn't know anything, because her husband doesn't know anything about the cases that she has been ruling, so that her husband will be the one to tell her who she should send to prison or who she should free, and so on. So the president should be looking the other way around.
I guess the judiciary has to reform itself, if that is the case.
It is the president that is the president and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Even the judiciary, if they are going wrong, he should be able to, either by way of sending a bill to the National Assembly to amend something. So he is the one in charge. Okay, you should not allow these people to continue like this.
Perhaps it's about methodology, like you said. If it's about championing a bill, I think that
yes,
that is,
and it's not that there are some persons, he can cause for some persons to be investigated,
but
like Bokashua now, she should be investigated. That is how he should stamp his authority. He should be investigated. You see, why this country, the way it is going, just like all of these things I have said now, I'm very much aware. They can frame one up and say, oh, we caught Atiku with cocaine, or with some firearms in his car. These are the kind of people you have in the security agencies. So. But to God be the glory, I've never held a gun in my hand since I was born. I've never taken anything. The other day I challenged even the Inspector General of Police. I say, investigate me and the Inspector General of Police. I will come out cleaner than he is, because in any way I am more cleaner than all of them. I know that one. So there's no way. If you frame me up, Nigerians will know that you are framing me up. I don't get involved in all of these things. I am a clean Nigerian who try to obey the laws of the land.
All right. Let's go back to the topics or the issue of, like you've mentioned, the relationship between the executive, the judiciary, the legislature. Now, like we've discussed here before, this is the first time in Nigeria's history where the names of the appointed or anointed candidates of the party were outrightly stated. They didn't say zone the Senate presidency to the South-South. They said to the South-South and to Senator Godswill Akpabio. The name was there. The deputies were there, and all of them have emerged exactly how the party recommended. So there are questions now about the issue of avoiding rubber stamp nature. If the president has got exactly who he wanted, he worked for them to be elected. He, beseeched the senators and told them, "This is my candidate." Same thing with the House of Reps. We saw the vice president standing in for the president the other day when Honorable Betera and Gagdi, I think, supported their candidate, Tajuddin Abbas. So they've been very involved in this. Do you think is the fear valid that we could be getting a situation where the legislature cannot speak back or correct or checkmate the president?
Yes, the fear is very correct. Akpabio, the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, is a yes sir man. So he will, it is whatever the president, at this point, we are only hoping on God and praying that the president, God should guide the president in the right direction. But there's no hope in the legislature, especially in the Senate, because there's no way Akpabio will be able to deliver. And what he wants, he has gotten what he wants, and he wants to maintain the position. That is Akpabio for. While I supported and prayed seriously for Senator Izunaso to emerge as Senate President, and I still believe, even up till this moment, that he's the best man. So, because I have listened to Senator Izunaso, I know he has a lot of wisdom and he has so much to offer this country. And I also know that with him as Senate President, the issue of agitation in the Southeast would have been over. So Akpabio cannot deliver. By his what we see about him, what we read about him, he's just a man like the normal Nigerian politician that they can do anything to achieve whatever they want to achieve. That's the kind of Senate President that we have now. For Abbas,
what about his experience? Coming
all of this experience doesn't matter.
Governor.
All of these experiences they don't matter. If it's like you attend a class, while classes are going on, you are chatting with your phone. And then when people come and say, "Oh, he has been attending classes regularly," what do you know? What have you gained? You will get nothing because you are always chatting with your phone. Your attention is not there. You are thinking about other things. So it is the nature of the man who is the Senate president that we are talking about. It is the nature of the man. This is a man that anything goes. That's a normal Nigerian politician that anything goes. Even by this statement which I'm making now, is the kind of person that Akpabio is, anything can happen to me. But we don't care. What is it? We don't care. But the most important thing is for this country to move forward. And people must speak out. We cannot continue to allow these people to get away with everything. It's a normal Nigerian politician, so there's no hope.
All right. Now, speaking about the elections still. Yesterday, one of the Labour Party lawmakers, I can't quite recall if it was in the Senate or the House of Reps. Yes, it was in the House of Reps. He stood up when he was about to cast his vote and said, "Though my heart is with Wase, my vote belongs to Abbas." And he made his vote, and the chamber was a bit rowdy at that statement. Do you think the fact that it was an open system might have affected the way the votes were cast, especially the House of Reps specifically?
Also, it was rigged. It did not only affect, the election was rigged.
Also?
Because they didn't allow them to vote their conscience. Mind you, the president came out and said, "This is the person I want people to vote for." Now, it's an open system. So you want members to vote against the wish of the president so that they will pencil them down in this kind of a country where anything can happen. Of course, it was rigged. It was a rigged election. It was not an election. The speaker was rigged in. After all, yes, we are from the same constituency. That's where I live, and I have always prayed for him to emerge. But I wanted him. You see, the pride and joy of every success is usually sweeter and greater if it is through an honest effort. Not when I prayed for Abbas to win. But I don't want election to be rigged. Not even in my favor. So the election was rigged. It was not that it affected. It was rigged for Abbas. How do you make it open a system where people, where you can, there are some person, you can have a friend who is contesting, but you know him that this guy is not, this my friend is not qualified. This one is not good to be a leader. If it is open secret, he will vote against him. But if they say vote openly, you want to maintain the relationship, and all of them will always want to maintain a good relationship with the president. We are talking about a president that is the powerful, in my opinion, is more powerful than any president in the world, because even the constitution can be set aside if the president wants anything. That is in reality, that is how it is. Forget the people who come and quote constitution. If the president wants anything, even the constitution can be set aside in this country. After all, we saw what Obasanjo wanted to do. It was because great men of this country, including the current president, came together to fight. He would have been life president. So, because even the constitution doesn't matter in this country. They can do whatever they want to do. So the election was rigged. So there's no need to talk about any election that it was a rigged election.
All right. So what do you envision the APC is looking like at the moment? I believe they have this uncanny ability to always band together no matter what. I say this because currently in the PDP, leading up to the elections, we saw the Rivers State Governor saying that they stand with the anointed ones of the APC. The former governor, Wike, has been visiting the villa frequently. It's the same thing with the governor of Oyo State. The G5 as at then, they are still very chummy with the current administration. And basically, there are a lot of persons within the not a lot of persons, but a movement within the PDP that people say they are just PDP in name. They are no longer PDP at heart. They are just there for a while, and soon we might be seeing some moves that will cement it. So that's for the opposition party and how easily they fracture. But for the APC, I mean, even with the coming in of the Muslim tickets, a few persons made some noise, but at the end of the day, everyone came together and worked for the same candidate. Now that persons are calling this imposition, rigging and all, do you think it will have any effect on the party? Perhaps those who have rebelled, do you think they will go any further than what they've done already?
Most of the leaders of this country are Ajibs. AGIPs, meaning all government in power, they will always come together, align, because the interest is not for the development of the country. It is selfish interest, what they will get from government. So at any time, some of these leaders that people think they are great men, we know them, they are not great. They can deliver their wife to anybody so as to get appointment or to get because of their selfish desire. They are not honorable men. It is not because maybe in the House of Reps say I am honorable. These are not, majority of them are not honorable men. These are dishonorable men. They can do anything for selfish reason, even in the Senate. So because it is their selfish desire, they are always lying now because there's something to be shared. Why is PDP fighting? Because there's nothing to be shared again. So it is not that APC has capacity to unite. No, APC has something which all of them they are looking at that they are uniting because of. Most people don't say anything against the wish of those who are in power because they are more or less, you have more hypocrites. You have more irresponsible men. I've always said this. The more irresponsible you are, the more wayward you are in Nigeria, the better and brighter your chances of making it politically to the top. The more disciplined you are as a person, the more difficult it is. I was contesting chairman of a local government. They said, no, you that they can't bend you. I will make you chairman. You can never win. And I didn't win. And I knew I was not going to win. Because I knew the governor would never give me the ticket. Would never, because you can't make me local government chairman and say once allocation comes, I should remit so amount. Even my father cannot tell me that. Why should I remit money to you? For what? I will be the one to answer question, and not for fear of AFCC. I don't fear AFCC because I don't even see them to have any capacity to do anything. It's all the same Nigerian. But there's a higher authority. There's God Almighty where you will have to account for. That's why we don't fear these people. The highest they can do, maybe you eliminate Atiku, you yourself, you will still join me in the grave. So there's nothing to fear. So that's why I don't, it's the same thing I advise people who are close to me. There's nothing to fear. Whether you die today or you die in the next 100 years, it's the same thing because all of you are going to die. So if you are smart and you might not die forever, then all of us will have be behaving the way they are behaving now. But this one, whether you die today or you die in the next 100 years, it's the same thing. We'll still meet in the grave. So that is the reason why APC, they are able to align. It's not that they have anything they know how to organize themselves. It's just because some of them are hoping that, okay, if I'm patient now, they'll give me this. If I behave and align with them now, certain things will give it to me. Or some of them who are crooks, who have stolen so much from the country, they don't want the FCC to go after them. So these are the reasons. They are obvious.
All right, it's interesting when you put it that way. But let's go further now into some of the actions the president has actually taken. One of these that has gained a lot of this conversation or momentum is the issue of student loan bill that has been passed. It is now a law. So with some implementation in place, students can now borrow to fund their education, their tertiary education, and then repay when they get jobs after graduation and so on and so forth. Now there are some issues here and there about the signing, one of which is you need, I think, a level 12 civil servant or a lawyer who has practiced for 10 years to, approve or sign for you. Your total family income must not be more than 500,000 naira per annum. Otherwise, you do not qualify, and so on and so forth. So what do you think of this bill? Do you think it's in the right right direction?
I have heard many people criticize the signing into law of this bill. But I want to commend the president. It's a good move. It's a good one in the right direction. You need to put certain checks in place because we are very dishonest people in this country. So if you don't put these checks in place, many people, this is a country where you will have the son of a senator coming to apply for this kind of a loan. You have many of them. I have tried this several times. You are giving something out to the poor. You will see somebody who is very wealthy coming to join to collect. is it not the same way the former minister of disaster Sadia was sharing money among themselves? It was meant for the poor, but they are the ones sharing to themselves. So that's so there must be checks. You can't just leave it like that, because and that is the reason why Buhari failed woefully. And in my own opinion, he's the worst president since 1999. This is because he's the president that has released much more than any president in order to take people out of poverty. But at the end, he ended up impoverishing more Nigerians and enriching wealthy Nigerians, because there were no checks. He would just approve. Everything approved. And these people were diverting the money to their personal coffers. So I don't even know why they keep borrowing us money. You have 10 Nigerians that I can call their names. They will repay back all our loan. Even a loan can repay almost half of the loan. So why should you go and borrow? All you need to do is to call the likes of Emefiele, the Sadia of this world, the Malamis of this world, to repay the money which they have looted, and then pay some into Nigeria's into the government's account, so that the country can move forward. To borrow from where? We don't need to borrow. Where you have just few persons, they have never. You see, these people have never worked anywhere in their life. We have so many of them. They have never worked. They have never done any business, but they are as rich as Nigeria. So all you need to do is just to get 10, 15, 20 of them. You don't need to take them to court. That's why we are talking about political will. Invite these people for a meeting with the president by 10 a.m. Let the president not see them till 10 p.m. And no food should be given to them. There should not be AC there. Because that's the life most Nigerians are living.
Isn't that human rights abuse?
Okay, as at the time they were looting Nigerians' money, were they protecting human rights? It's the same thing they have done to Nigerians now. Keep them there. By the time you come for the meeting, tell them straight, in just 3-5 minutes, this is what I want. Return all of this money. After you must have gotten enough details from the DSS. This is how much, this is what they have done. They have so properties, all of this. Get this.
But do you think any president can do this? The reason, the simple question could be, if it can be done, why hasn't it been done?
The political will.
The PDP, the APC.
No, if you are corrupt, if you don't mean well for the country, if you are the president, all of these things you can do. You cannot be, if you are a president that you want to loot, those who have looted before you is a looter continua. You can't go against them, because if you go against them, you cannot have effective looting. But if you have made up your mind, like Asiwaju now, as he is, what else does he need in this world again? Everything God has given him. He doesn't need. In short, if I were to be Asiwaju, I would return all my own personal money to government and just give small to Sheyi. Sheyi self is a billionaire, so why don't leave him to continue his life like that? Don't give him anything. So he's already made his business successfully. So leave him, give everything to government, so that put this country on track. Nigerians will not
for the president himself, at least before coming into office, there have been accusations dogging him all along.
Yes, whatever accusation, the few days in office that the president has done, in short, most Nigerians have forgiven him. In short, I have forgiven the president. I will pray God should grant him good health. God should, at the time, once he has finished his tenure successfully and he leaves this world, God should grant him the paradise. This is how leadership should be. You can see the man is focused. See the bills he has been assenting to. It shows the man is on track. So that is the kind of president we need. So he can do this. It's not, by doing this, not being wicked. These people are terrible people. Look at the kind of money they are looting. When they loot this money, it's not that they help their village people. The most painful thing about these people is that when they loot this money, they don't even use the money. If I were to be the president, if you loot money and use the money to establish businesses in Nigeria, I will only tell you to pay double of the taxes. The money will be forgiven. But these criminals are so dangerous that they loot this money, take to America to go and buy a house. How can a normal human being leave Nigeria to go and buy a house in America? When you can stay for a year, 2 years without going to America. Anywhere you can stay a whole year without going there, you don't need a house there. Except if you are not, something is wrong with your brain. Anywhere you can stay for a whole year without going, you don't need a house there. And most especially if you go there, you will not stay for like a month, 2-3 months. You don't need a house. If you go to America, check into a hotel and then come back. If you loot money, sometimes you see There are some persons that I know they have looted this country. I don't talk about them because they have established businesses. The ones that annoy me, those who loot money, they go and buy houses in Dubai. Why should I own a house in Dubai? To do what with a house in Dubai? You will go and buy a house in America. I see these people as mad people. And that's why I don't have respect for them. When you hear me talk, you know that certain persons I talk about them, I don't have respect for them. Because they are so wicked that they loot money from this country. Take it outside the country. What kind of madness is that? Loot money in Nigeria. Use it to establish everything in the country. In short, I will pardon you as a president. All I will tell you is that continue to pay back bit by bit so that employ people. And then the government will tell you to, okay, employ so number of Nigerians and then begin to pay back. You have let us say 100 billion. Begin to pay back instrumentally now. Your business is yours. But these people loot, they just take everything away. That's the problem. That's why you have this kind of poverty in the land. So the president has a golden opportunity because he is better placed than the former president because he is by far more intelligent and far more smarter than the former president. Yes, the former president, I still do not believe that he's corrupt.
All right. Talking about the new president, just yesterday to the previous president, the president before President Muhammad Buhari, President Goodluck Jonathan also visited President Tinubu at the Aso Villa. So that being said, projecting forwards, how much more do you think we can expect from the president, in his mission to kind of revitalize and change things? And also, do you think there's an inkling of perhaps maybe resentment that there were things happening in the previous government that maybe the party and the current president did not like but were not able to influence? Take for instance, we saw governors even coming up against the Naira redesign policy, but the president, was a bit quiet. So do you think, on some level, the current system did not or was not pleased with the way things were being done, but they just did not have that power?
Let me be specific. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not pleased with the last administration. He was only being matured. And as a political strategist, he knew that, don't forget, he was contesting an election. So he could not come out openly to condemn his own party. And President Muhammad Buhari got it very wrong when he made it a family and friends affair. It was more of a family and friend. So he surrounded himself with dumb family members. And as such, the administration was a total failure. Look at what Tinubu is doing now. He brought the man from Benue State, the former governor of Benue State, to be SGF. So now you see the spread. You bring people with experience and exposure that you can work with, but from different places. You cannot just bring people from your family member. You see, the person who is head of this agency, you and his mother, you have the same father, the same mother, all those kind of things. That was what was happening during Buhari's tenure. So because of that, they have no respect for the office of the president. They could do anything. That was when we heard Aisha Buhari was fighting the PA. They were running after themselves. Where this one pushing this one. Where is it head of? Because it was more of a family affair. The ADC to Aisha Buhari wanted to beat somebody. It was because it was a family affair. You don't reduce the presidency to that level. When you do that, of course, what we witnessed during Buhari's regime is normal. The total failure where billions were released but diverted into personal coffers. At the end, I am very sure Buhari is regretting whatever he is now. Forget all these noise people are making there. No, like he has tried his best.
Don't you think he believes he did his best?
No.
From his own point of view.
You see, I don't mean to talk down, to look down on the former president because he's a father, a grandfather. Buhari, to me, is the easiest man I know on the surface of the earth to be manipulated. Because I have assessed the way they manipulate Buhari, you cannot manipulate my 6-year-old daughter. I am very sure of that. Sometimes I begin to wonder, because I see highly intelligent officers from Nigerian Defense Academy. So I have concluded on my own that maybe probably in the past, people become general based on quota system, but not based on academic excellence and professionalism. Because how do you have a general that the heads of various security agencies were doing whatever? Without any knowledge of security, I can't have this nonsense that happened during the Buhari regime now. How can heads of security agencies be doing? You will say, I am, as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I asked Inspector General of Police to go to Nasarawa. He didn't go. And he remains Inspector General of Police. What nonsense. That can never happen. Not even in my house. That even my wife cannot disobey me like that. Don't talk about Inspector General of Police. That they are regimented. You take orders from the commander-in-chief and then you say, go to... No. What happened? Buhari is the easiest person to be manipulated in the whole of this world. I have never seen any human being that can be manipulated. Some persons some of our friends became billionaires because they had access to the president. They could give him anything he would sign. Buhari does not drink. So how comes that he could be manipulated like that? Anybody can just take anything today, he will sign. Okay, release 500 billion. The next thing you see your friend, if you call him, he will not pick again. Then you begin to hear story that he saw Buhari. So what? No, he signed document for him. He's not now a billionaire. Oh, no wonder I no longer picks my call. The next thing, another one is not picking again.
These are unconfirmed reports. Anyway, I believe the president, and at the very least, it was clean all through, as far as we know. But still, we're moving forward now. I don't know. Let me ask you now. Are you still a member of the PDP, or were you ever a member?
Yes. I didn't. One thing I regret is not supporting Tinubu, because I didn't know he was going to So I want to use this opportunity to call on His Excellency, my namesake, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, to withdraw the case from court if he means well for Nigeria. And to call on His Excellency Peter Obi to also withdraw. They can, maybe for academic exercise.
This is just about 2 weeks into the government.
Buhari stayed for 6 months, there was nothing happening. 6 months, there was nothing happening. But this is what you are talking about, over 10 days now, and you see everywhere, you know there's a leader. Already these former ministers are checking everywhere they are now. Some of them, they are hiding. They can't even watch TV again. That's the information we are getting. Because they don't know the next person that will be called to come and answer some questions. Even the heads of the various security agencies they are scared now. Because they know the man is an action man. The next thing, he will remove one and replace with a more competent one. So that is leadership. So with this now, all those who have cases in court against the president should please withdraw in the interest of Nigeria. All of them. Okay,
so I was going somewhere with that. The talks of a unity government. What was your take on it? The fact that it is believed that President Tinubu is not discriminatory and he is trying to reach out across party lines to build a government, that is multi-party with the best of each, so to speak. Do you think that's a good idea, to reach out to the PDP, the Labour Party, SDP, all of them, to come in and be a part of what he plans for Nigerians?
It's a fantastic one. It's a fantastic move that will help unite this country. Okay, if the best man for the job is in Abga, you now refuse to appoint him because he's in Abga. How can Nigeria move forward? Nigeria at this moment is in intensive care unit. So you need the best of doctors. So anyway you will get the best of doctors to take us out of this ICU, it's welcome. And President Tinubu has two things going for him. He is the best in terms of recruitment of the best brains. Nobody from 1999 has been able to match his antecedents. Also, he builds people. He builds people. All of these politicians don't build anybody. The truth, during the primaries and during the general election, there were signs that even APC leaders were not for Asiwaju. How was he able to win? Because over the years he had built people that could on their own bring out over ₦1 billion without Tinubu knowing. Because Because he built them. He ensured that, and he has this business idea that is fantastic. And then he puts the right people in the right position. That is leadership. So having done that over the years, so it was, there were all the plans against Tinubu didn't work out. Everything we said against Tinubu didn't work out. People say, what he became the president. He is not the president because he has done well. My fear why I did not support Tinubu was that he will not be able to perform because of the failure of APC. I didn't know that he was going to deviate from the failure and focus. See, real focus. He's not talking, he's not condemning people, not like Buhari that will say PDP destroyed the whole country. You see, from the beginning he was saying PDP destroyed the country till he handed over. But Asiwaju knows better that his party did worse than PDP. He's not saying anything. He's trying to fix. That's leadership. And that's what we want. So he should pick from, get the best people to do the work. And he needs to, those who are not doing the right thing should be fired.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Atuko Abubakar. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll get to discuss more. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's all we can take on the program for today. Don't forget to join us every weekday. The Polity reaches you live from our Abuja studios, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Do join us tomorrow. Bye for now. I am Ahmad Dinobere.